What are we doing out here, bro? What are we doing out Oh, he's getting ready, everybody. He's getting ready. Look at this guy.
Out here at the Southern Hills Golf Course. I've never been here before.
He's never been.
But it looks fantastic. It really does. The scenery is beautiful. And Phil hooked us up with the pro out here.
Yes, sir.
So we're looking forward to it, man.
Mr. Brian Mulvin over there. He's the teaching pro, one of the teaching pros here at Southern Hills. Plantation up in Brooksville. They have a junior tour event going on right now in the front nine. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna go out on the back nine, 3 holes with Mr. Brian. Dave and I are gonna pick his brain, talk to a pro about how he plays the game, how he sees the course. You know, they see things a little differently than we amateurs, but you know, we still could give him a run, right, Dave? We could give him a run yet.
Hell no.
I'm trying to get this to be a series, like a teaching pros series. Go find a couple of teaching pros in Tampa, film them, pick their brains about things, you know. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this.
Okay, so the camera's rolling, don't sweat it, just, you know.
Right there? We're ready to go? Okay,
yeah, start however you want, we can edit, so.
All right. Hey everybody, Tampa Bay golfers, thanks for watching again. We got a special treat for you today. We're doing something a little different in between the match play. Our next match play is coming up December, what, Dave? 6th? The 8th?
Yeah, the 8th.
8th.
It's going to be Justin and Casey McDonald, the pro from Silverado Golf Course.
Silverado Golf Course. That'll be coming up, guys, so look out for that video. Today, we've got the Director of Instruction at Southern Hills, Mr. Brian Mulvin.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for being a part of this program. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna pick a pro's brain. He's gonna play a couple of holes out here, and we as amateurs, me and Dave, you know, we're amateurs here. We see the course differently than these guys do. And Brian, will you tell me where you play on tour, Florida tour? What have you been doing this year?
Yeah, so obviously I teach professionally out here out at Southern Hills, and then you know, I play a lot of club pro events, a lot of North Florida PGA stuff. I qualified for the Florida Open this year.
Okay.
And then just besides that, you know, I attempt to do some local qualifying and some PGA Tour qualifying, like Valspar every year, stuff like that. Yeah. Just for fun, but mainly just club pro events.
All right. So this guy, he told me he's been trying to play more golf this year. His life has been getting in the way, getting busy. How many rounds did you tell you played last year?
Last year only played 17 in 2019.
17
rounds.
And how many this year?
I'm at 38 right now, so you know, a little more than double. So that's been good.
That makes Dave and I happy.
Yeah, that's been good.
Get out there and play more. So
absolutely, likewise.
Awesome, awesome. Well, appreciate you again for coming out. But we're gonna start, guys. We're on number 10 par 4 here at Southern Hills. We're gonna play a couple holes on the back. What's going on. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Perfect.
I think I struggle with it. I'm sure a lot of other guys do. So so as far as moving the ball, when you're going to move the ball, if you know your ball's moving left or you're moving right, right, you're going to pick a target, right?
Yes, sir.
And so one of the toughest things is sometimes I think a lot of amateurs will pick a starting point.
Yes.
But they're starting, even though they pick a target, their ball doesn't start on that line.
Correct.
And I would assume that comes down to face control.
Oh, for sure. Well,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Club face control, but also knowing your club path, correct?
Right.
So it's always a relationship between club face and club path. The biggest thing I like to do, you know, once again, we're all perfectionists to an extent, and we all try to, you know, envision that shot every single time. You hear that a lot on TV. He's envisioning his shot, all that good stuff. What I like to do is just pick a spot on where you want the ball to end up. You're going to tend to set up to the spot where you want the ball to start. So I don't have, you know, like For my more advanced players, I might have, you know, them pick a starting spot and an ending spot. But for the most part, with most of my golfers, my, you know, 30 handicappers, my 20 handicappers, even my 10 handicappers, I'm looking for them to pick a spot where they want the ball to end up, just so we're not getting into you know, paralysis by overanalysis kind of segment there.
Okay, so you're suggesting that you line up pretty parallel with the spot you want the ball to end up
for
at.
sure, and your club path and all your tendencies will kick in then, and you'll tend to start the ball where you normally start it. Once again, it's just allowing you to have an end goal in mind. If you start to make the equation too complicated, people start to get a little technical on the golf course, and that's the last thing we want to do. You know, be technical on the driving range, be technical during lessons, but on the golf course, I want to keep it simple.
Awesome.
We have a par 4. It's a little dog leg right. You know, we got a little blind tee shot here. Fairway basically drops off at about the 150-yard mark. Depending on how I hit this shot, like I said, it's playing about 410 yards. So if I hit it great, I'll clear the ridge. If I miss it a little bit, it's probably going to stick on top of the hill. No big deal there. Just makes for a longer second shot. But once again, with this shot here, as I just talked about, I'm going to pick an end goal, and I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera or not. But basically, the high part of that fairway is where the tree ridge or the tree line breaks off. Yep. And just almost right smack dab in the middle of the fairway, in the distance, there's kind of a dead tree out there that I'm just going to be aiming for. So I like to pick a target in the distance to aim for. Once again, my shot selection, as Dave would just kind of mention, you know, there's going to be some curvature to it. So my shot selection is very consistent. Nice little baby draw all day long, for the most part. So once again, I'm just picking my end game here, my end point, and kind of going from there. And besides that, I'm just going to trust it.
Trust.
Great shot. Right where he aimed, fellas. That is on the dead tree. Great shot.
Thank you, bud.
Beautiful shot.
Might be a little short, but that's all right. You know, it's like I said, gonna be in the fairway there, and we'll go from there.
Very nice, sir. So, Brian, I heard something the other day from a golf professional.
Can't believe everything you hear.
That is true. Can't believe everything. This gentleman was saying that a lot of amateurs should take the back number of the green, the distance, and aim for that instead of going the pin distance or short. They were saying because a lot of amateurs
miss it short.
Yeah, miss it short anyways.
For sure. I mean, everyone's different.
Sure.
I like to customize my information in that regard. So if that works, hey, that's awesome. My big thing is once you know your yardages, and actually one thing we should always do, check the wind, and actually grab the wrong club.
Oh.
So that's a good point there. Felt that little breeze last second.
I just distracted you with that awesome question.
Good. Love that question. But honestly, you know, for me, it's about setting up your next shot. You know, we'd love to say we're gonna, you know, stick every shot to 3 feet, but as golfers, we know that doesn't happen.
That's right. Yep.
So, for instance, here, as you know, from a pro's perspective, I'm thinking about where I want my shot to land. Right.
Okay.
So I got a pin. You know, for instance, just drawing a picture. I got a downhill lie. Slightly downhill shot. Wind's coming into my face just slightly, 155 yards out. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little knockdown 7-iron here, just being honest. And then basically from there, I'm thinking about where I want the ball to land. Now my shot selection was mainly due to the wind. I think with the wind, it's gonna be playing about 160. So a little knockdown 7, a little soft 7 will be perfect. And I want that ball to land, honestly, in the shadows there. The pin's in the back of the green. So I'm looking to set up my next shot and hopefully set up a nice little, you know, 2-foot birdie or 15-foot birdie, something along those lines. You see you have a little bit more green on the left side there rather than the right, which works perfect for my draw. So I honestly can start this ball right at the pin, and then if it draws a little bit, hey, great, it's in the middle of the green, right?
Yep.
So it's all about setting up that next shot. Now the lie's kind of fighting against the draw a little bit because the ball, you know, it's not just downhill, the ball's also slightly below my feet. But for me, since I normally play a strong draw anyways, I'm just gonna bend my knees a little bit more and kind of just trust it.
Okay.
So
all right.
we'll kind of go from there. besides that, I normally take a practice swing behind the ball. Once again, pick that starting spot. Right now, my starting spot, it's rare, but on this particular shot, my starting spot is the pin. Once again, that's pretty rare for me.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to draw off it.
Nice swing, brother.
Hold it.
Going a
Get
little left, but it's going to be okay. Great shot. Definitely the right.
He's in the shadow pin. Little. Oh, whoa, whoa.
A little bit too much.
She
Tended
creeped.
off that
Yep.
lie a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Good shot.
definitely the right club.
Yep.
Once again, that was more ball contact on the ball rolling a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
But at least here's the good news. On this particular shot, I missed on the right side.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Which in this case was the left side.
Mhm.
But I missed the proper side of the hole. So now I have an easy chip up, easy opportunity to save my par.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Mr. Brian, how's this green look? How's the grass? Is it growing into you? Because that usually gets me.
No, so this one right now is going slightly away.
Okay.
And my biggest thing with hitting chip shots, I always like to walk them off.
Yeah.
Pick your landing spot. I always walk around the hole here just to see what we got in terms of slopes and all that good stuff. See if anything from the other side surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
You can see right here. I don't know how well it's going to turn on camera, but it's pretty downhill. So I'm basically just going to try to land this right on the edge of the green and let it release to the hole. Standard club I chip with is a 58, more of like a modern way, a modern pro way of doing it. I know old school would
9-iron, baby.
9-iron, 7-iron, keep the ball low, let it roll, right?
Yeah.
Which I'll do that with the 54 degree occasionally, but for this shot, I know my bounces really well with the 58, so I'm gonna walk it off.
He walked off his point where he wants it to land right there.
So 7 yards right from my landing spot.
Mhm.
Once again, just envision the shot, execute, and that's what we're doing. Hit that a little chunky, but it definitely broke right.
Yeah.
Bad.
Once again, just gonna walk around the hole here. Nothing's really gonna surprise me on this putt. Grain's going this way. Putt actually on this, typical Pete Dye should break a little uphill. Putt's going downhill. It looks like the green's sloping from back to front like most Florida greens do. But once again, based on hitting this putt a couple times, it should break just slightly to my left. So if I play this just right edge, we should be in really good shape.
All right.
The one thing I like to do is line the ball up to the center of the hole each and every time. And then from there, just go on and execute.
Whoa,
Did break, started just a
burned
tad
it.
bit too far.
Oh
It's
my
quite all right.
goodness. That's
Quite all right.
Good roll, though.
yeah.
Started a tad bit too far.
Good run at it.
And, like I said, bogies happen occasionally. It's
That's
quite all
it.
right.
It's
Get a
gold
little
golf,
flame
man.
up, so no big deal. Go from there
Yeah.
and make a couple birdies coming in.
Yes, sir.
To leave one thing and having to do it completely different.
Right.
So on this hole, they got the blue or the gold teaser up a little bit. You can see on the where it said 471 for gold, but we're playing about 400 today just because they have the tees moved up.
Wind is definitely kicking up a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's definitely getting towards the end of the day, so it's howling a little bit more. Got a cold front blowing in the next few days, so got probably 10, 15 mile an hour wind right now. Yeah. And on this hole, it's going into it. And this hole actually, even though it doesn't look it, plays pretty straight. I mean, if you wanted to say a dog leg's just a tiny bit to the left. The fairway's really well outlined with the two bunkers. You got the bunker short on the right, and the bunker where honestly my drive should probably end up on the left there. So just to avoid the bunker on the left, I'm gonna take it right over that bunker on the right with a nice little draw.
Great shot. It's going to curve over to the left.
And
That should be good.
Kick.
Yep,
Didn't
you're
kick all the way
good.
back to the fairway, but I got a good angle from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good from there.
Absolutely.
More of a block, but
In
that's quite all
play.
right.
All right, let's take a look at this hole here. Of course, it's looking beautiful, man. It's looking pretty good. All right, boys. boys, let me take you down a ride, the 11th hole at Southern Hills. Couldn't be better, late afternoon, man. Me and Phil got in the car. We had this set up. Hopefully in the future, man, we're gonna do a lot more things like this for you guys. We got some plans for the new year, and you know that you guys have been on the show, and those to come. We will never stop showcasing the local golfers, but we are going to try to bring you guys some different content too, so you don't just have to watch matches all the time. So he just hit this hill right here. His ball is just right here.
Brian likes to put his ball right near the carpet. We don't have to walk very far. All right, Brian, we got a little different lie here for your second shot.
You know, like Dave was just saying, we definitely want to miss on this side of the fairway. Green definitely opens up from here. You know, this green is, basically, I mean, it would be considered front of the green, but to me, it's kind of right in between the front and the middle. So, you got some leeway here. You can miss a little short, you're not going to be penalized. You can miss a little long, you're not going to be penalized. Really, you just can't go right or left here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the left would be bunker, right? You're going to have, a lot tougher chip. So, once again, on this particular shot, I got 158 with about a 15-mile-an-hour wind into my face. Ball's also above my feet, so I got to choke up quite a bit. So I'm taking about my 175 club, which would be my 6-iron, and like I said, just going to actually for this one on my starting line, I'm actually going to take it right at the right edge of the green. I hit a draw anyways. The ball's above my feet. It's going to draw. So starting it at the high point, basically right at that ridge in the middle of the green on the very far right side. If I start it there, we'll be in great shape.
You all right when we stand in here?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. The only reason I did a practice swing that time next to the ball was because of the lie.
Yeah.
You want to kind of get the lie, or the practice swing as close to the lie as possible. So
Yeah.
if it's flat, I'll take it behind. If it's anything unusual, I'll do a practice swing.
Okay.
Right next to the golf ball.
That's a good little tip right there. I totally lost it.
I think it's on the green. Looked like it was going to be on the green.
It was coming back to the left.
Back. Should be pretty close.
I had a small camera.
I'm looking. The glare is killing
Pretty
me.
close. The glare makes it tough
Yeah.
to see, but we're about to go find out where it's about 175. So,
Yep.
I mean, correct distance.
From over here.
Just off.
Didn't kill myself on that one.
Nope.
Okay, and man, they got the ride really growing out here. The ride is pretty thick. So this is where he ended up, and this little spine he was talking about is right back here. So he was not far off of the target that he was aiming for. You can see this is the gully. He was coming from over here. He was on the top of that hill over there. Okay, and man, they got the ride really growing out here. The ride is pretty thick. So this is where he ended up, and this little spine he was talking about is right back here. So he was not far off of the target that he was aiming for, really. I mean, that's a great shot, really.
Plenty of green to work with. I'm just going to take my little bump and run wedge, which is my 54. Honestly, I'm just going to hit a nice little bump and run here. Pretty simple. Everything is, chip is actually going to break. Once it gets to the green, it should break a little bit to my left. But overall, take a glance at it from the other side just to make sure I'm not going to be surprised. But besides that, it should be pretty straightforward. From the ball, normal Pete Dye, once again, it's all about illusion. From the ball, it looks straight uphill. When you get to the other side, it's going to look a little bit more downhill. So I'm going to play this pretty flat. Walk it off one real quick time.
Oh.
All day long.
You can pick it up if you want. It's up to
All day long.
There it is.
There we go.
Easy par.
Easy par.
Easy
Just like Phil
par.
taught me.
That's it. Just like that. All right. Par 5, number 12. All right, Brian. Strategy. Driver, right?
Driver.
Putter.
All right,
It's not my game.
Not your game, yeah.
It's not my game.
It's not my game either, yeah.
Like I said, nice little 15-mile-an-hour wind into us here. Unfortunately, 538 will probably play as a 2-hole or 3-shot hole for me today. That's quite all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy little 3-shot hole today.
So don't always try and go crazy and say you got to get on in 2, right?
No, definitely not. Birdies can be made just as easily from 100 yards as they can from 20 yards away out of a bunker.
Huh?
Got a little afternoon shadows here to 10 whip, but that's quite all right.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, this hole kind of matches my shot. I'm just basically going to start it right at the right edge of the fairway and just kind of let it do its thing from there. You know, don't have to be tricky. There's a couple trees in the background that I'm aiming at, and kind of go from there. Might be hard to track this ball, but that's quite all right.
Good ball. Come around. There it is. She's
Yeah,
coming
should be
around
sneaking
gently.
right
That's
back into
good.
the fairway.
It's really good.
Right on the edge of that fairway.
Right on the edge.
So, I mean,
Ball.
you know, Phil's getting old, so we have to keep it close to the rough.
Yeah, man, it's good for my knees. My knees got old knees, you know. Eagle eye.
Just like we call it.
Yeah, the ride's so thick it's stopping the run on the
Oh yeah, no, it's 10 yards short today, you know. That's quite all right. These should get mowed on Tuesday, I would imagine. But the nice thing is they'll be prime for the next 5 months now. So they'll be prime until really May when you start to get into summer maintenance. So it's course is looking phenomenal. From here, you know, it's a blind shot once again. You got the pin behind the bunkers. You know, we're going to be about 260, 270 out from here, so I'm not even entertaining going for the pin here. I'm just going to lay out to the right, kind of out to the left, just as the hole was kind of designed to do. Taking a little 5-iron here, nothing big. Give me about 100 yards in. Right out to the left, should be in the middle of the fairway. Sorry, Phil, I'm going to have to make you walk a little bit.
Oh, it's fine, brother.
Good shot, brother. Good shot.
All right, we got the good old 54. All right, and the second shot, he's out here in the fairway.
Thank you, my friend.
So what you got distance-wise?
So we're at 94 yards. Once
Okay.
again, wind's died down just a little
To
bit.
the wind?
My 54 stock would go 85 yards. Reason I'm hitting this is because in order to compress the ball better, I'll always just put the ball a little bit back in my stance. So this just I'm able to keep the exact same swing, just put the ball a little bit more back in my stance.
Yep. Ball's
I'm
up
on a
again.
slight uphill lie too. Like I said, that's going to add a little bit more loft. So putting it in the back, de-lofting it a little bit, no big deal there. So once again, I got this shot playing right at 100. Once again, playing the 54 in the back of my stance. Slightly closed club face, just being a wedge. You don't want it to leak out to the right. And you know, with wedges, for the most part, with this pin being nice in the middle of the green, I can just take dead aim and just
Go right at it, huh?
go right at it.
Yeah. There you go. Just right at the pin.
All
Good
right.
shot. Look at this guy putting in the effort. It's hard work, people, to make these videos. It's even harder when you're 6'8" and you got to go all the way out on the ground. About 6 feet, 7 feet. Oh, I'm gonna ask him, Dave.
What's that?
Your favorite, man.
What's that?
Putting statistics, bro.
Oh, ask him.
From
I'm
7
sure
from this distance.
I'm sure he is well aware.
Brian, what is it from this distance? On tour, percentage of makes.
From this distance?
Yeah.
So we're right about 7 feet here?
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have to say, I haven't seen a chart in a while and I know it changes slightly.
Yeah.
But I would say from this distance, right about the 75, 80% mark.
80%,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so pretty close to that. I mean,
Okay.
it changes slightly every year, but
I'll
I
make
mean,
you feel better. It's actually a tad lower, which
that
is
lower,
good.
what is
Yeah.
it exactly?
I don't know the exact, but I want to say from 7 foot,
I think it's like,
you're 70%.
I think it's 70.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't terribly
70,
far off.
yeah,
Then. 75,
70.
80. I was
Which-
in the ball game there.
Which, so I talk to the guys that come out for match play all the time, right? Because
Yeah.
they feel like they miss a lot of putts.
Yeah.
And what me and Phil talk about all the time is, if a PGA Pro is 70% from this range
Yes.
here, which it reduces drastically as you get further away.
For sure, 100%.
You know, you can't, so that means an amateur's probably what?
50%.
50%?
50%.
You know?
I mean, yeah, 50%. The expectation level is that inside 10%. Now, you got to also remember with that number, right, that everyone has hot streaks.
Yes.
So for instance, the tour stat they love to put up is, putting inside 10 feet. And the guy who wins that week is normally putting 100% inside 10 feet or 95% inside 10 feet. He'll be 31 of 31 for that one given week. Yeah. Correct?
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. I gotta
no, you're fine,
fix this ball
yep.
mark. But just don't want to forget.
No, I was gonna remind you. I saw it.
I appreciate it.
I was looking right at it.
No, but yeah. So I mean, for any given week, someone can get hot, and that's the same thing with. I mean, you talk about match play, right? Everyone who's played match play at least a little bit has run into that guy or gal who's just on fire with the putter. Can't miss that given week.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely happens, but over time, my biggest thing that I stress to my students is don't go crazy with these putts, because the more you try to make them, the further away that next putt's going to be. And I don't care how good of a putter you are, if you blow these putts 4 or 5 feet by, you can feel like you're going to make all of them, but eventually that bug is going to bite you and you're going to miss a few. So my biggest thing with all my students is focus on speed with these putts. Get it to die into the hole, get it to roll a foot past max. Because these are, I mean, especially this one right here, we're slightly downhill. I got my grain is kind of going a little bit away from me. So gotta look at this putt to read it a little bit for sure. But yeah, I mean, this putt should break a little bit. Just a little bit though. Like I said, normally non-COVID times I would have taken the pin out, but today not going to. So from right here, honestly, I have this putt breaking a little bit to my right, so I'm just gonna take it right at left edge. And once again, if I miss it, it's gonna be the right speed. I'm gonna, if I hit a perfect putt, it'll either drop in or have a speed that if it were to miss, it's only gonna miss, roll a foot by. And we should be pretty good. Once again, good speed, rolled by. Didn't play that far enough out, but that's quite all right.
Yep.
We'll go from there. Nice little par. Nice little par. Go from there.
Yeah, I remember the stat that we had on our last match. We were talking about the putting, and I know at 10 feet it drops to 40%. Something like that. It drops to 40% at 10 feet. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
I thought, man.
And a good book on that would be
Every shot counts.
Yes, every shot counts.
Every shot counts.
Absolutely. Great great book on that.
My favorite book is How to Line Up Your Fourth Putt. That's like my favorite book right there.
How to line up your fourth putt.
Come on, don't tell me you haven't heard of that. Come on.
I've heard of it.
Line up your fourth putt. Yeah. All right, the par 3 now.
Par 3. Got this baby playing at probably about from here today, they got these, the golds back a little bit because we're not putting the blacks out right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shoot it. Normally this will play about 170.
Uh-huh.
Where that pin is. It's gonna be pretty close to that.
All right, this one's all you, Phil.
Gotcha, brother.
Pin slightly back of middle.
172, you said? Yeah, pin is slightly in the back.
You can see the pin, right?
Yes, sir. I got it right behind that bunker.
Yeah, right behind that bunker. 172, nothing special here. There's not a lot of wind going on right now. A little bit, not a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of died down.
Yeah, it's died down just a little bit. Throw it up just for fun. I'm just going to outline it right between those two bunkers. So there's 2 bunkers short of the green.
Yep.
I just kind of want to draw it right between those two.
Draw it into the pin from there.
It's going to land about 10 feet short and drop right in the hole.
All right. Coming back around.
Little overdraw, easy to go.
Oh, you're on.
It's on the front edge.
You're on between the bunkers. Oh, yeah.
Front edge. Not bad.
That's pretty good. I think you're on the level with the pin.
Yeah.
You can put, yeah.
I got about a 15-footer for bird there, so that'll be good. And 172, I hit a 6 iron there. The ball hit a little bit high on the club face, while I came up a little short. That's quite all right. Underlying message there is not every shot's going to be perfect. Like Dr. Bob says, Dr. Bob Rotella. Golf is not a game of perfect, so you got to embrace that. You know, you're going to hit, you know, 3, 4, 5 shots the exact way you intend every single round, and that's if you're a good golfer.
Yes.
So on those, I missed it. That was a clear miss hit, but you know, if my miss hits lead to 15-foot birdies, I'm in great shape.
Yeah, this is great. You're in great shape here. Back part of the green, small part of the green. Yeah, landed that well. Good shot, sir. Good shot. Oh, the table.
Now here's the putting table here, but now we got to keep in mind this is directly from Every Shot Counts, Mark Brody's book on strokes gained. So this book was 2016.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what we're looking at, and keep in mind that they have a chart in that book for your scratch golfers, your 90s golfers, and so forth. But these are PGA Tour players. So from 2 feet, and we're talking about one putt probability. So from 2 feet is 99%.
Yep.
3 feet's 96%. 4 feet's 88%. 5 feet is 77%. 6 feet is 66%. 7 feet is 58%. As soon as you get out to 7 feet, you're talking about 58% of the putts professionals are missing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You got amateur golfers complaining.
Oh, yeah.
So for an amateur golfer from 7 foot, you're probably talking about maybe what, 30% maybe?
Absolutely.
And then it goes, so once you get to 8 feet, it drops off past 50% for professionals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that should put it into perspective, what you should expect, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but when I watch them on TV, they're making all their putts.
Well,
like I said, you know, you're watching the guy who's hot right then.
That's right. You're watching the guy who's hot. Yep.
You know, the guy who's hot's he's gonna make 31 out of 31 for a short period of time. They're on tour for a reason.
Yeah.
So right here, we just got a easy 15-footer, slightly uphill. As Dave so eloquently said, you know, I have about a 99% chance of making this. So, you know, as golfers, you do have to be a little bit delusional. You know, if you heard that stat every time before you hit an 8-foot putt, you probably wouldn't be too confident.
Yeah.
So it is a good thing to have a little bit of false confidence over a putt. You know, but because you got to make. I mean, think about it. You got to make you know, you're gonna make some long ones. You know,
that's right.
You're not supposed to make an 80-footer, but they do drop occasionally.
They absolutely do.
So, and those change around.
And
we got a little 15-footer straight uphill here. Actually, I have this thing sliding a little bit to my right at the very end. So, but one thing, like kind of Dave just said with the stats, I want to make sure if I don't make this, I want to make sure that I have a tap in for my next putt. Because I'll tell you what, I don't get a lot of lessons or a lot of putting lessons from, man, Brian, I'm just not making all my 15-footers. I get a lot of lessons from Brian. I keep 3 putting from 15 feet. So like I said, let's guarantee that we walk away with a par, and if it drops, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's gravy.
And one big thing is when you set up to a putt and if you feel like it's not aligned correctly, back off, do it again.
Yeah, that's me.
Putt that ball confidently.
Get in.
Oh, broke the opposite way on me. That's quite all right. But once again, little tap in par.
That's it.
Play a little boring golf the last 3 holes.
It's fine.
It was great. Easy pars, missed in the right places.
Easy pars, yeah. Right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Fun stuff.
Pete dies laughing right now.
Pete dies laughing. Pete dies laughing. Pro misread. It happens, right?
Yes.
It happens.
Well, guys, that concludes our short little video with Brian here. Brian, appreciate you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
To come out.
It's fun. You know, hopefully it helps everyone, anyone who's watching. So it was fun today. We'll do it again.
Yeah, if you guys need information, I'm posting here at the bottom of the screen for Brian. If you want lessons, contact him. Here's his number, email, everything.
Awesome.
So thanks for watching, everybody.
Sounds good, guys.